you need to do to watch this video. Have fun and enjoy. Subscribe to the channel, hit the thumbs up, comment on the video, and share the fuck out of it.
Community service announcement brought to you by Jigsaw Ross, proudly sponsored by Fortune Oxco, spoken by Barry in York.
G'day, welcome back to the channel and welcome back to part 3 of... Welcome back to part 3. We can't welcome back to part 3. We haven't done a part 3 yet. Have we done a part 3?
No.
No?
No.
Is this like a part 3, part 2?
No.
This is the first of the part 3?
Yes.
Welcome to part 3 of the Not Bruiser clone rebuild. Okay, so it's still white, obviously. We did a bit of work today. Let's get rid of this for now. We'll talk about this a bit later on. We had some bits turn up. We had our 45 turn motor turned up, so we chucked that in. I made up a mount for the servo for the steering up the front. So now she's all front mounted. Compared to if you look at the slop and the steering in the first video, and then look at the slop now, that's dramatically improved. I think I also mentioned we had a trim issue with the gears. I fixed that. Hopefully you can tell the diffs are back in, the shocks are in. Everything's buttoned up. Everything's good to go. We also received our brand new speed controller today. So that's got to go in there somewhere. And we also received our lighting kit. How about that? All clear lights. It's going to show up well. Yeah, looks like a mess, but it's pretty simple really. But that's got to be mounted up somewhere here, maybe on the body, underneath the body, just so all the lights can reach to the front and the back. There's headlights. There's driving lights. There's two blue lights that I know what they're for, but. There's like blinkers, left and right blinkers, and brake lights. And there's no provisions in this unit for extra lights, which kind of bothers me a bit. We'll have to work out something there because I want to put spotties on it or a light bar or something. It also says it's a Tamiya hop-up options light unit, but I cannot see a Tamiya part number anywhere. There was no paperwork that came with it, so I don't know. People who know more than me might be able to tell me if it's a real thing or a knockoff, or I don't know. But there you go, we got lights. So once the body's painted, we can put the lights in. And yes, I know you're hanging out to find out what colour we're painting the body. So let's go back to this. We'll chuck this on. We'll get rid of that. We'll chuck this on. We'll chuck this on. Okay, now we have had a few suggestions on what colour to paint it. Not a lot of suggestions, I would have liked a few more, but we have had a few. So without further ado, we'll pick one. And we don't have a random generator. We're not really up with the times out here in the sticks. All we did was just put all the suggestions in a hat, in my old crusty old sweaty bloody work hat. We're just going to pick one of them out, and whatever colour I pick out, that's the colour we're going to paint the car. So if you can bring in the hat, I'll pick out a colour, or pick out a suggestion. There's the hat. I'm not looking. Alright, I got one. Okay. I have a suggestion. Let me just unfold this. And the colour is... Right, so there you go. The car is now in the paint shop, which is like literally just there. Thanks to everybody who picked that colour. There was a couple of people actually. We've written your names down, and you all win a lifetime subscription to the channel. You lucky bunch of bastards. Alrighty, onto the interior. We've done a bit of paintwork on the interior. Obviously we have, because we were waiting around for you blokes to show up, but you were taking forever, so we just got started. So we painted the dash cream. We still got the stickers that came with the model. I thought I'd just leave them on there instead of trying to make anything for it. This is supposed to be a quick kind of budget build. Painted the black floor, the seat. I ran through all these grooves with a black Sharpie, and then painted over it with some grey etch primer. The grooves kind of just gives it a bit of depth, just makes it show up a bit more. We also put door cards on the interior. We're going to look at putting armrests and window winders and maybe a speaker later on, but can't do any of that until we actually put the driver in there so we can see how much room we actually got. Now, speaking of the driver, there's something else that we can't do until the driver turns up. It's the steering column. Also, there's going to be gear sticks in here, and maybe a two-way radio with a handpiece. I mean, I wasn't going to go into all that much detail on this interior. Once I get started on something, I really can't help myself. I just go overboard with it. The steering column that came with the model was basically this. Now, just juts out of the dash there with this stick. It doesn't look very good. The wheel itself looks pretty good, and actually, with the wheel, when it came in the kit, it was flat. Like the outside was in line with the boss on the inside. What we did, we come in with a cigarette lighter and heated up the spokes, and literally just pulled the wheel away from the boss, and that gave it a bit of a dish, which I reckon just makes it look that little bit better. But this little stalk round column looking thing is just no good. Going through the spare parts box, we come up with this. This is a steering column out of a Tamiya 114 truck, but here you've got two stalks either side of the column. The column's actually rectangular in shape, which better mimics a Hilux steering column instead of this thing. And you end up with your indicator stalk and your wiper stalk. So I reckon that looks a bit better. Now, going back to the driver, we can't glue this column into the interior without having the driver in there, so we know exactly where the steering wheel needs to sit. So what I want to do is actually drill and tap a hole into this column. I've already drilled a hole through the dash there to suit. It's a 2.5mm hole. I'm going to drill a 2.5mm hole through the column and tap it out for a M3 thread. Once that's done, I'll drill this hole out to 3mm to accept the M3 screw. But to get the 2.5mm hole into this column, really quite simple. There's nothing to it really. All I got to do is just hold the interior, sort of line up the column where I reckon it might want to be, and try and get it in line with that hole that I've already drilled. And then with my third hand, just come in with the drill and mark out the column. So there you go. We've got a M3x10 screw holding that column in. Now it's not quite at the right angle, although it could be, we don't know until we get the driver. But it is fairly flexible. So once the driver is in place and I cut this fucking stalk off this steering wheel, we can get it all in the right position to suit the driver. So once that's done, it'll be good. And I'm pretty sure, like I said, I can do a lot with this interior, but I really just want to get this car back up and running and back on the track. So I reckon, apart from the 2 gear sticks, there'll be the gear stick and then the transfer stick. Once we do that, put the steering wheel on, put the driver in, that'll be the interior, I reckon, done. Oh, yeah, that's right. All this crappy orange, we're going to paint all that black. Because actually, if you hold this up to any kind of light, you can see the orange through the grey there. So we're going to black all that out, make it look a bit better. But now, seriously, on to the body colour. Give me 1 second. Just make a phone call. Okay. Next time you see it, will be the colour.